Holy Ghost is on the move.
Yeah, Firebirds had a lot of momentum.
Right from the jump for the Firebirds, who look really good.
Hello everyone and welcome to Holy Ghost Prep and Frantic Memorial Field, where we have our lacrosse opening day for broadcasting between the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds and the Abington Senior Ghosts. I'm Caden Stewart, I'll be your solo commentator for today's game, which gets underway in about 8.5 minutes, so we'll get back to the stream then. But for now, get your excitement building for the Firebirds and the Ghosts from Frantic. Well, everyone, welcome back to Frantic Memorial Field. We have a quick update on the game start. It has been pushed back from 3:30 to 3:45, so we have an extra 15 minutes of wait time, but trust me, it'll be worth it, between Abington and Holy Ghost Prep. So be sure to stay tuned for that. At 3:45 will be the opening face-off between the Firebirds and the Ghosts. Hello everyone and welcome back to Fran Nick Memorial Field, where we have opening face-off between the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds and the Abington Ghosts. Abington wins the initial face-off at midfield. They go back across to the far side, and it's Matt Miller, the first recipient. And it's even gone out of bounds along the near side. Abington will hold on to it. Miller drops it off to Andrew Sue. Sue going down low, and in the X box to start is Zach Silverman. Silverman out to the far side, parallel to the Holy Ghost Prep bench. Back up to the top to Sue. Sue making his move. Now Lowry has stripped away. Firebird battling forward behind the net, and the goaltender Mateo DeChico comes down and muscles his way free, and he's forced to drop it off for a Firebird offensive possession. Mike Holt bringing up across the far side. They come across the Abington bench. Now on the move, coming in the first semicircle, and the shot was blocked away. Abington with a good defensive play there to keep the game scoreless. It's Patch Gary, the co-captain for the Ghosts. And here's Spence Lowry, the other co-captain, across midfield. Lowry being boxed out, good defense by the Firebirds. Jacob Analoff in coverage to start. Now one bounce pass saved by DeChico. He makes it look easy. DeChico on a drop off over the middle, goes right back to Jake Gardner, another sophomore. Now the Firebirds go on the offensive. Line and fire, shot, and great save in the net. And it's lofted back up into the air. Firebirds get the offensive rebound. That was stripped away again. It was knocked out of the hands of Gavin McDonough. And Abington takes over. Pass was almost intercepted going across the middle by Karam Moe. Now loose ball around midfield. Abington picks it up. They go back on the attack. It's Lowry again. Lowry making men miss. Lowry fires. It's deflected off of a Firebird. And it's Firebird ball as DeChico outraced the two Abington Ghosts that were behind him. Score 0-0 after a minute 15 of play. It's been action-packed as both teams have had a good scoring chance. DeChico at the heave is knocked down and around midfield. The intended target for the Firebirds was Ralph Smolzinski. Smolzinski got knocked to the turf on a clean hit. Abington takes over on possession with Andrew Sue. Sue to the top to Frazier. And the play will be whistled off, and it remained Abington ball. So Abington coming off a 17-3 dominant win over the Chamonix. So far, their only game played this season, they are 1-0. The Firebirds are 3-1, and they had their 3-game win streak ended their last game against Pope John Paul III in a 7-5 loss. The Firebirds looking to get back in the win column here and improve their record to 4-1, while Abington has to remain undefeated at 2-0. Here's Sean Lair. Lair on the drop off to Zach Silverman. We got back up to the top to Lair, and Lair dropped it back to Matt Miller. Miller back across. Miller in motion. Gets the pass back. Directing traffic around the middle. They go back up near the three-quarter line. And he wind up fires again. It was deflected out in front off of Firebird, said Tino Tiberia. There's Silverman again. Silverman couldn't find a hole in the Firebird defense. He's back in the X behind the net. Silverman has stripped away. The Firebirds hit the good defensive stand once again. That's their third in a row to prevent an Abington goal. And Mike Holt will pass across. Holt now a huge heave up near midfield to go over the head of the intended target. And that appeared to be Jacob Analoff. Not supposed to be McDonough, pardon me. McDonough, it went just over his head. Abington now has the ball just in front of the net. Abington looking to get something on the offensive, scoreless through the first about 4 minutes. Matt Miller making his move. It's a shot on goal and saved by DeChico. may have been blocked before they got to the net, but the Chico went in motion, and the ball never made it close to him. Now shot again, that one deflected off the stick of the Chico, goes out of bounds, but Abington holds on to possession. Zach Silverman with the pass across, up near the Firebird bench. Here's Liam Frazier. Frazier across again to Matt Miller. Miller reaching toward the near side. Little spin and shimmy. Fibers looking to knock the ball out of his hands. They're unable to. It's another loose ball. Picked up and it was pushed forward. Whistled off and the Fibers hold on possession again. We go to the backwards pass to start with Chris Pasovac. Pasovac takes the heave. And the pass is stripped away in midair. Gavin McDonough lost it. And the referee throws the yellow flag, so it will be a penalty going against one side. I couldn't tell who was on the Fibers' offensive possession, but Abington now has the ball on the delayed penalty. Zach Silverman passes it across. Silverman shoots it over to Suit. Suit again teetering along the near sideline. And now a player is stripped away from the ball. The Fibers try to get the steal. Unable to. It was Sam Udell who had the ball for Abington. They had knocked away. For the moment, it's Andrew Lancaster who picked up the loose ball. Went across to Miller. Miller with a spin. Miller couldn't get into the offensive zone. Here come the Firebirds on the attack. It's Karam Moe, and it's whistled off. The play whistled off shortly after the Firebirds took possession of the ball, going across midfield. And it seems like Abington will regain possession. Indeed, Abington with the ball around midfield. Firebirds have two men deep in their own offensive zone that are forced to be in their defensive zone for the moment. A little wind-up, it was almost a pump fake, never really did any motion with the stick, and of course that was Calvin Hoffman. Hoffman on the dump-off. Looking on the return feed now, Miller with a shot, deflected again by DeChico. And nothing getting past Mateo DeChico to start this game. 5:43 and taking remaining in this first quarter. Abington going back and forth. It's Zach Silverman. Silverman with a shot, and that one just sneaks through the legs of Mateo DeChico. Abington strikes first, and it's 1-0. Miller had a perfect pass across. It looked like Calvin Hoffman took the shot, and Abington goes up 1-0 early. So off the quick goal, the Fibers go on the offensive, and they hit the ball trickling into their offensive zone. And the first teetering shot on goal is saved by Abington. There's Sean Lair. Lair had the ball knocked away. It's scuttled towards the sideline and picked up immediately by Mike Holt. Holt with the pass forward. It's Jacob Analoff. Analoff with a spin. He went down, taking a beating, and he had to give it the ball. It's Abington Zach Silverman again. He's had a lot of action this first quarter. Silverman on the move. Silverman pass across, deflected again. The Fibers take over on offensive possession. It's shuffled forward by 17 Ryan Lippy, another sophomore. And the Firebirds again looking to hold on possession. It's McDonough who got knocked in the turf. And McDonough with a spin, he's forced it back into a corner. Flyers have not had the ball on offense for very much this entire game so far. For these first 7 minutes, it's been almost all Abington getting all the shots on goal and only one getting by Chico. Flyers have the ball huddling around the X. Devin McDonough forced near the sideline again. McDonough looking to try to start up a reset. And the play be whistled off. Abington takes over. It's another turnover for HGP. And they've had a lot of costly ones so far today. Abington gets out on a hot start. It's Spencer Lowry. Lowry with a drop off. An open shot from Miller, and he sneaks it in. Not Miller, Andrew's suit got in the top left corner, and Abington with 2 quick goals in the last 90 seconds. Jumping out to an early 2-0 lead. And the Firebirds call timeout. They have work to do. HGP down 2 to Abington with 3:33 to play in the first quarter.
How is it? Any good?
So the Firebirds go back on the offensive. Firebirds now down 2 to Abington. They had the ball around the edge to Chico, who shuffled out and came out of his own net. Now HGP struggling to get back on the offensive zone, which they've only been in for about 60 seconds of this first 8 minutes. The Firebirds go on the attack. It's a brilliant one-handed catch, and it was knocked away just out in front of the net by Abington. Now here come the Ghosts on the move. It's Spencer Lowry. Lowry has help. He throws it up across. It's a little too tall for Andrew Suit, who's one that just scored the goal. HGP applied a big hit along the near side. Now they go flying up across their own bench and past the bench of Abington. The pass drops into the corner to Josh Rasler. Rasler cutting in, throws it across around the bottom to Will McCann. McCann to the top of the key on a reset. It's Tommy Walsh who has the reception. Walsh drops it back to Rasler in the bottom left corner. Rasler down to the middle again. McCann to the top, gets the return. Back to Rasler. 2:10 on the clock in this first period of play. Walsh on the drop-off. A pass to the middle, it's knocked away. It'll go out of bounds. And Abington will take over as the Firebirds were not able to stay near the sideline. Abington gets on the offensive quickly. Josh Rasler pressuring them two from behind. Matt Miller had the ball to start. Miller the pass across. Now a spin. Underhand to the far side. A cutback. And it was Zach Silverman who's pressured out again. Silverman looking to reset. He doesn't have any help, and then he finally finds Spence Lowry at the top. Lowry making a man miss. He one bounce shot, almost went out of bounds, but died a lot in the grass after the one bounce, and Zach Silverman picks up the offensive rebound for Abington. Silverman pressured back. Silverman looking to find a hole. It goes off the top of the post. It was just behind DeChico, and he almost had a brilliant goal, which would have put Abington up by 3. 60 seconds and ticking to play in this first period. 2-0. Abington leads. They look to extend it to 3 here. Silverman goes back up to the top. Silverman has Miller and Lowry. Miller has it for the moment. Miller to the middle. It's a one bouncer, and it goes out of bounds. Abington takes back over. 40 seconds to play. Miller again on the return. Miller being boxed out, and a flag comes up. Some late contact after the flag was tossed. That was between Miller and Ryan Lippy. And Abington to hold on to possession again. 33.5 ticks of the clock remaining in this first period. Liam Frazier will start with the ball for Abington. Frazier slings it across. Now they go back to the far side of Miller. Miller gets the return. Miller directing traffic in front. Goes to Suit. Suit cutting in, and he sneaks one in. Suit dropped it off to Silverman, and Silverman scored it. Abington goes up by 3 with 18.9 to go in this first period. DeChico mad at himself after. And Abington leads it 3-0 after Silverman's goal. So it appears to be one last face-off from midfield. The Firebirds win it with Karam Mo. Mo gets rattled, gets banged up, takes a big hit, and Abington steals the ball at midfield. 6 seconds. The Ghosts need to hurry up. It's a spin. Miller had it knocked away, and that'll kill the remainder of the clock. It was Miller and Sean Laird trying to force their way to the net for Abington, but they were rejected by the Ghost defense, who has been stunned through these first 12 minutes. HGP trails 3-0 with 12 gone in this first opening day of lacrosse broadcasting game between the Abington and Holy Ghost Prep. So 12 minutes gone, Abington leading it 3-0. So after the first 12 minutes of play in this 48-minute match, Abington leads at 3-0 over Holy Ghost Prep, and they have the ball to start on offense. It's Spence Lowry. Lowry with a pass across. Here's back to Matt Miller. Miller fires to the middle, cutting on through, and did that go in? It did. It's another quick goal for Spence Lowry, the co-captain. And just 31 seconds into the second quarter, it's 4-0 Abington. So Abington, who just came off a 17-3 dominant win over Neshaminy, looking to do the same to the 3-1 Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds. Ben Iyer goes up to midfield for Abington to take the opening face-off, or take the face-off. Iyer battles Karam Mo, and the ball skids away. Abington wins the opening face-off with one of their long poles. And that is Bobby Zuccato. Zuccato had the ball knocked away. HGP now takes over, and they lose the ball. So double turnover around midfield. Abington on the offensive. It's a drop-off. Tic-tac-toe shot, and it's deflected by DeChico with another good save. Zach Silverman got the shot. He's looking for his second goal in as many quarters. But he just couldn't find a hole. Will McCann back to the top to Josh it was Sam Udell goes to the top to Sean Lair. Udell now had the ball knocked away. It'll trickle nearly out of bounds. HGP holds on to it and it stays in play. Chico gets the pass. Chico finds a man along the near side. Here come the Firebirds on the move. It's a pass to the middle. One shot deflected. And it's a great save rejecting Will McCann by Abington. Here's Tommy Walsh. Walsh back to McCann. McCann looking for another chance. McCann goes to the top. He has Jude Walsh. Walsh gets the pass back. Walsh down low. He has Will McCann again. McCann to the middle. Here's Razzler. Razzler on the move. A one bouncer, and it just bounced over the net. It'll go out of bounds, but stay with HGP as they won the race to it. Here's McCann. McCann finds Walsh. Walsh to the top. Passes across again to Anilov. Anilov with a shot, and it's a glove catch save by Abington. That's Grayson Stewart with the save. The Firebirds lose possession at midfield again. Here comes Abington on the move. Sean Lair. Lair with a big hit. Lair winds and fires it just as high over the net. A lunging attempt by the HGPs to Chico to try to keep the ball at a Firebird possession, but it is a failure. And Abington takes over, or regains possession. Abington finds Miller. Miller, the shot deflected up, and it's almost double tapped in the air by Chico, and he finally corrals it. Chico now comes way out of his own net, almost up near midfield. Chico dropping it off. He finds his target. Here's Gardner. Gardner had it knocked away. Another big hit applied by Mason Glenzer. And now a pass just a little too high for Silverman. And HGP takes over on offense in the far corner. It's a pass to the middle, back up to the top to Jake Gardner. Gardner finds Razzler. Razzler being pressured near the sideline. McCann went down a little behind the play. Razzler goes up to the top again. Here come the Firebirds on the move with a shot and saved by Stewart. And now it's lofted back up into the air. Loose ball. It's going to go almost out of bounds. A nice box out by Connor Pendergast. Abington on the move. A solid hit applied by Jude Walsh. Walsh pushing a man back, and McCann takes over for the Firebirds after good defense by HGP. Here's Gardner to the far side. Gardner forced out, and that's Razzler. Razzler to the middle. A spin and a slice, a shot, almost went in. McCann will scoop up the rebounds. The Firebirds are going to get on the board here almost midway through the second quarter. Wind up shot from the top, and it just sizzled wide. And it was off the stick of Gavin McDonough. Here's McCann on the move. Fires Walsh, and he scores. Jude Walsh gets the Firebirds on the board to start the game. And HGP now trails by 3, 4-1 off the brilliant shot by Jude Walsh to found the bottom left corner of the net. And the sophomore scores first for the Firebirds. So 4-1, Abington leads as the Firebirds finally found a hole in Stewart's defense. Now the Firebirds win the faceoff. Now they lose it again. It's a loose ball. 2 turnovers. The other teams exchanged turnovers at midfield. And McCann couldn't corral in the pass. It almost went out of bounds. Now it does. And Abington takes over with Mason Glenser, who's been a hit stick early on. Matt Miller will bring it in McCann in defensive coverage. Miller across midfield, around the Abington bench, going cross country. Miller stumbled, lost the ball. The Firebirds will take advantage. 2 yellow flags go in the air, 1 from each referee that was in the area. And the play be whistled dead. Abington retains possession as the Firebirds crowd the front of the net. They whistle him in. Here's Miller. Miller with a drop-off. Finds Silverman. Silverman back to Miller. Miller with a wind-up shot, and it was deflected and saved by Mateo DeChico. DeChico being pressured. He's forced to run away from his own net. DeChico with a cutback, looking for someone open. He finally finds someone. It's a drop at midfield by Jacob Aniloff. There was a little bit of a haywire pass, just bad communication between the two. Now Matt Miller. Miller gets the pass in the middle. Finds Silverman. Silverman on a spin. Looked to try it again, then he slowed up and stopped. Silverman on the move from the middle. Shot just wide to the left. But Abington gets the ball as they were the closest one to it when it went out of bounds. 5:53 to go in this first half. HGP trails by 3, 4-1. Abington looking to put the lead back up at 4 at 5-1. They had the ball on the offensive zone. Loose ball, and Chico forced to pick it up. Chico with the heave. Here come the Firebirds on offense. Carumbo lost it at the top. It was Ryan Lippy lost it at the top. That goes trickling to the near side. A big hit applied by HGP. Tommy Walsh absolutely leveled Spencer Lowry on the near side. Now it's Sam Udell. Udell back to Lowry. Lowry. And he goes back down again. And that's going to be a little bit of a late high hit, and that's the right call. As 2 Firebirds crowded Spencer Lowry as he went down. May have knocked his helmet off for a split second, and that'd be a penalty. .509 to play in this first half. It's Abington 4, HGP 1. Firebirds trailed by as many as 4 after just 30 seconds of play in the second quarter before the sophomore Jude Walsh from the bottom left corner of the net and got it past at Abington senior lockdown goalie in Grayson Stewart. Here's Silverman. Silverman on the move. Goes to the top of the key to Udell. Udell on the return. Back to Silverman. Silverman to Miller. Now back to the middle. Silverman finds Miller again. Miller to the corner. Takes the reset. Silverman in the middle, and it was a high pass. And Abington will win the race as a ball almost when it goes out of bounds. Maybe it did, but either way, Abington will hold on to it. Abington on the drop-off, Miller. Miller back to the middle, one bouncer, and he scores. Sam Udell finds the slot, and it's now a 5-1 Abington lead as they had jumped out back ahead by 4. And with 4:25 to play in this first half, it's 5-1 Abington. So Abington leads at 5-1, trailing right before the face-off. Here's HGP. Tried to go on the offensive with Lippy. Lippy had the ball knocked away after winning the face-off. Now a crowd of players from both teams in a loose ball. Neither team can seem to find the possession, and McCann is forced to knock it away for HGP. But now it is Abington on the attack. Here's Sean Lair. Lair on the drop-off to Udell. Silverman. Abington will reset. Silverman on the return pass. Now goes across to Miller. Miller to Udell. Udell back to Miller. Miller across to the middle, and they score again. Spencer Lowry with his first goal of the game. And now Abington is starting to run away with it. It's now a 5-goal lead and a 6-1 score with 3:29 to play in this first half. .328 now and ticking to go in this first half of action between the Firebirds and the Ghosts. It's Matt Miller, and Miller had it whistled off, and there'll be a timeout called by what appears to be Abington. So only 9 seconds tick off the clock since the face-off after the Abington's 6th goal of the game and the 7th total between the two teams. Your score after the score 3:20 to play in this first half. It's Abington 6, HGP 1. So Abington will reset up after they called their first time out of the half. 3:18 to play in said first half. It's a 6-1 Abington lead. There's Miller on the return pass. Miller drops it down low. It's Spence Lowry. Lowry has a goal today. Lowry across. Udell. Back to Lowry. Back to Udell. Udell to Miller. Miller drops it down low. There's a little bit of a spin by by Suit, pardon me. And Miller was forced to back up. Now it's Suit swinging around. Suit to Silverman. Silverman in the middle, deflected and saved by Chico. And Abington will win the race out of bounds and then hold on to possession. Pass the middle again, saved by Chico. On the loose ball, the Fibers look to pick it up in the corner. They're boxed out. And a whistle sounds. It'll be HGP on the offensive. Both teams make a substitution. One of the rare few we've seen today. At least during the action. Fires moving the ball around as Jude Walsh, who has the lone goal today for the Fibers on the spin, had the ball knocked away and almost pummeled into the ground. The ball was. Now here's Braden Davis. And the play will be whistled dead for a timeout, and it appears to be called by HGP. 1:54 to play in this first half. The score remains Abington 6, HGP 1. .154 to play in this first half. It's 6-1 Abington with the lead over Holy Ghost Prep. Abington will win the opening faceoff with Miller. Miller on offense. Drops it back to Silverman. Silverman being pressured back around the X near the goalie. Here's Miller. Miller slicing through the defenders, and he's going to heave one out of bounds. But Silverman got his stick closest to the ball, so he'll hold on to it for Abington. 90 seconds to play. The clock appears to be stuck for the moment. Now it's ticking again. Silverman on the spin. Silverman floats it up. It's Liam Frazier. Frazier back again. Silverman on a pump. Silverman, the shot. It goes just wide to the left. And did Chico this time will win the race? Or maybe not. It appeared that Chico won it by a decent margin, but they award the ball to Abington. Abington has the ball around the X. Udell with the pass. It was deflected off the stick of Liam Frazier. And goes back up to the top. Now here's McCann for the Firebirds. They've not had an offensive possession in a while. They can take advantage of it here, and they almost did. There was a good chance for a shot by 42 Gavin McDonough, and he just couldn't force his way in. And now Abington goes right back on the attack. 41 seconds and ticking for Abington. It's Spence Lowry. Lowry, Miller on the spin. Miller being boxed out. He's forced to reset. Now he tries again. Miller to the middle, and he scores. Abington up to the largest lead of the game of 6, and it's 7-1 Abington Ghosts. So for the first faceoff after the goal, the ball go out of bounds after an Abington offensive attack. Half a second, and that'll be it. There's a half a second left on the clock after the ball went out of bounds, and then a referee threw a flag in the air. I'm not sure who the foul will be on, or if it was just to signal the end of the half. But either way, play will stop, and the Abington bench happy for a reason as they lead by 6, 7-1 over HGP. Abington won 17-3 against Neshaminy to go 1-0 to start their season. They look to keep their undefeated record and extend it to 2-0 as the Firebirds look to avoid losing 2 in a row as they are coming off a 7-5 loss against Pope John Paul III. They sit at 3-1 currently. For right now, Abington doing what they need to do to increase their record to 2-0. They are leading 7-1 over HGP. We'll be back after this short halftime with the final 24 minutes of action here from Frantic Memorial Field. But again, your score for 24 minutes of play: the Abington Ghosts 7, the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds 1. So here we go, opening face-off of the second half. It's Abington that wins it. Abington on the move. Zach Silverman on the drop-off to Miller. Miller to Silverman. Silverman on the pass back to Frazier. Frazier to Miller. Miller back to Silverman again. Silverman on the drop-off. Finds Udell. Udell back to Silverman. Silverman across. Miller back to Udell again. Udell in the corner. Comes up along the near side. Miller to the middle. Knocked away. Loose ball. And lofted up into the air by Udell. And he can't hold on to it with a stick. And he's mad at himself that he couldn't grab it. As now Spence Lowry brings it in. Lowry across Miller. Miller finds Silverman. Silverman again in the middle of the windup. And what a shot! Going down to the turf, number 33, Spence Lowry. Found the gap and put it through between the legs of Mateo DeChico. And it's now a 7-goal lead for Abington, who leads 8-1. That's now back-to-back quarters that Abington has scored a goal in the first opening minute of the quarter. And now they win yet another face-off, and that has been the key to this 7-goal lead for Abington. And this one's Ben Iyer who won it. Iyer on the move, Sean Lair now. Lair with Holton coverage. Lair around the 2/3 mark of the field. He finds Silverman. Silverman back to Udell, to the top Miller. Miller finds Frazier again. Frazier hangs around the 3/4 mark. Frazier being pressured around down low. Comes Frazier again. To the top is a loose ball. It splits between Silverman and Udell. It goes almost up near midfield, and Udell is able to smack it back into play. Or play at least on the Abington offensive side. Silverman down low around the X. Silverman trying to make his way around the circle. Lost his stick. And play is stopped. It's HGP ball. Here's a heave. It goes right through the stick almost of Jacob Anilov. Anilov gets the pass back, looking for redemption after the mistake. He fired a pass to the middle. That one knocked down by Jude Walsh. Now Walsh lost it. And a cutback, a one-bounce pass by Mason Glenzer. Glenzer down low. It's Stewart, came out of his own net. Lost the ball. A brilliant opportunity for the Firebirds. And they capitalize. HGP has cut the lead back down to 6. Off the open net look that just barely snuck in. It appeared to have been Josh Rasler who scored it. There was a crowd of Firebirds around the net, so it could have been any one of the 3 that were there. But it looked like Josh Rasler's stick moved the most, and HGP is now down 6. It's 8-2 with 9:02 to go in this 3rd quarter. There's pass in the middle, a big hit off the opening face-off coming off the goal, and that's going to be a penalty, it appears, on Colin Mudrick. It may not have been the best call. It appeared to have been a clean hit all the way right after the face-off. But Mudrick will immediately sub off. And Abington will hold on to possession. Here comes Abington. Silverman has Frazier next to him. He tries to go to the middle. Udell smacked it with one stick toward the net. And it's a crease violation going against Udell as Mateo DeChico forced him out of it. Chico with a heave across midfield. Here comes the streaking Tommy Walsh. Walsh on the move. Walsh fires. It's saved by Stewart. And it bounces up along the far side near the Abington bench. It's Jacob Aniloff. Aniloff finds Jake Gardner. Gardner drops it down low. Now across to McDonough. McDonough on the spin. Forces a man off. Now to the top. Finds Walsh. Walsh across to the far side. Aniloff. Aniloff floats it up. It's knocked away. And now the Firebirds retain possession. Aniloff looking to reset. And he'll get the pass. Aniloff to Walsh. Walsh on the spin. It's Tommy Walsh. Walsh cutting through defenders. Walsh lost the ball. And he didn't find out until he was halfway through his shot. Here's Udell being banged up. That's Miller who was getting smacked at. Udell down further along the far side. HGP needs to have some type of offensive momentum in these final 7 minutes of the third quarter if they're going to mount a comeback against Abington. They trail. Abington leads 8-2. And it's a loose ball that went out of bounds. Abington retains possession. Oh, and running right through someone and scoring. What a shot again. Spence Lowry ran right through a Firebird defender and found the bottom of the net. He has a hat trick and has 1/3 of Abington's 9 goals. It's 9-2 Abington with a 7-goal lead once again and 6:57 to play in the third quarter. Crumbo now out at midfield to take the face-off for the Firebirds. Mo knocks the ball away. Loose ball going to pick it up. It's swiped away. It's Mike Holt in the corner now. Holt lost it to Mason Glenzer of Abington. Glenzer lost it. Now HGP takes over. Here's McCann. McCann had the ball stripped away. Skittles out. The Firebirds lost it again. And it's Abington that takes over. Sean Lair scoops it up at midfield. Miller went down next to him, but Lair stays up. Lair still with the ball. Cradling it and rocking it back around the 2/3 mark. Lair lost it. It goes about in front of the net. Lowry picks it up. Lowry, stutter step to the middle. It's Suit, and Suit is forced out. Suit goes to Silverman. Silverman being pressured back behind the 2/3 line yet again. Silverman on a cut. Silverman back behind the net. He stutter steps. Now again, in trouble. Being pressured by Ryan Lippy. Lippy with great defense on Silverman. Silverman on a spin. Drops up to the middle. Or near the middle. It's Spencer Lowry. Lowry winds and fires. Went off the back of the net. And Chico picks it up from behind his own spot. 5:20 to play in the third. 9-2 Abington leads. The Firebirds in their home whites. Abington on their road maroons. Jacob Aniloff with the ball to start. Aniloff. Down low finds Razzler. Razzler to the middle. He goes to McCann at the X. McCann looking to reset, directing traffic for Walsh. Walsh goes near the middle. McCann hold it for the moment. Goes back to Walsh. Walsh down low, finds McDonough. McDonough to Analoff. Analoff down low, and it's through the legs of a Firebird, out of bounds. But HGP will hold on to possession. It's Tommy Walsh, Jacob Analoff, Josh Rasler, and Will McCann in the offensive zone for HGP. And now becomes defensive as it looks like Abington took over. The Firebirds crowded the offensive zone for a moment. I guess there was a mistake in communication between the two sides. Now here is Udell. Udell lost it. Now Mike Holt with a heave. They go downfield. It's picked up. Loose ball again. Now it's Mason Glenzer. And it's now Abington up along across their bench on the far side, past the scorer's table and through and past the Firebird bench. Sean Lair now pressured out. Lair has Lancaster. And Tiberio in coverage. And a shot got off. It was Sean Lair who was off the top of the post, just above the head of DeChico. So 3:33 to play in the third quarter. 9-2. Abington leads. Jacob Anilov subbing off for the Firebirds. Scott Harkins comes on for HGP. Silverman down low. Finds Udell, and it's a brilliant save by DeChico. The back of his leg just barely caught a piece of it, and it was enough to keep it out of his own net. Here's Andrew Suit. Suit to the middle, finds Miller. Miller has it knocked away, picked up, and a flag goes into the air as HGP took over. It was Dill Beffert for HGP who had the ball for a split second before the play was blown dead. 3:07 and ticking to play in this third quarter. The play whistles to begin again. Silverman to the middle. They go a one bounce pass looking for Miller. That's Suit now who lost the ball. And DeChico will hold on to it in his own net. DeChico moving men around, being pressured back behind the circle. DeChico swinging it around. He's going to heave one. It's a one bounce that skips by everybody. Here's Holt. Holt had knocked away. Now it's a one bouncer up to the middle again to Andrew Suit. Suit delivers a hit. Here's Silverman. Silverman on the attack to the middle. Udell. And it found the back of the net. Udell after the tic-tac pass from Silverman. And Abington has reached double digits first. It's now 10-2 Abington with 2:20 to play in the third quarter. .207 to play in the third quarter. Abington leading it by 8, 10-2 over HGP. HGP on the offensive zone, and they score immediately. right after the face-off, HGP gets another one in the net, and maybe that'll have some type of late momentum, or it'll be too little too late for the Firebirds. Is Brendan Schultz to put the ball in the back of the net for HGP. And with 2:02 to play in the third quarter, the Firebirds now trail by 7, 10-3. So now it's Abington on the offensive for a moment, coming off the face-off of the Firebird goal with 1:45 to play in the third quarter. Here's Spence Lowry. Lowry on the move. Lowry being boxed out, and he's going to float up in the air for Liam Frazier, who finally corrals it. Frazier swings it out to the side. Back to the middle, it's Silverman, and Silverman pushes it back to DeChico. DeChico walking it up near the 2/3 mark. DeChico fires to the middle, is knocked away from McCann. Another crowd of players around midfield looking for it. A Firebird went down, then a Ghost went down. McCann was the Firebird to go to the ground. He'll get back up under his own power and walk it off. So Abington now on the attack. It's Patch Gary, the co-captain, with the ball to start. He passes it down, and now DeChico picks up for HGP after the missed shot. DeChico on the spin. Here's Tommy Walsh. Firebirds on the move. Anilov now. Anilov drifting toward the Abington bench with 30 seconds to play. Anilov a one bouncer, and he scores. And the Firebirds have scored the last 2 goals to cut the lead back down to 6. This time it's Jacob Anilov from far out. And it's 10-4 Abington with 23 seconds even to play in the third quarter. "17 seconds and ticking to play. Here's HGP on the move. The Firebirds lost a chance to go on the offensive with Colin Mudrick. Now here's Mudrick with 9 seconds. 8. It's Ryan Lippy on the move. Lippy cutting through defenders. Lippy needs to get towards the net to take one last shot. Lippy floats it to the middle, behind the back shot, and he scored to get it in. And it is a good goal for HGP. 2 goals in the final 25 seconds of the first half, or the third quarter for Holy Ghost Prep, and they've cut the lead in half, down to 10-5, or almost in half, down to 10-5. So Abington had all the momentum coming into that 10-2 lead, but HGP with 3 goals in 3 minutes, including 2 in the last 25 seconds, have given themselves new life. And with 12 minutes to play, a lot is left to happen here from Fredneck Memorial Field. 36 minutes gone, 12 to go. The Firebirds trail by 5 against Abington, 10-5. Final 12 minutes of play here from Frantic Memorial Field. The Firebirds trail by 5, 10-5, but they've scored the last 3 goals. Now HGP goes on the attack. Can they continue their offensive strikes? The charge on the move, and it's a glove save or stick save by Stewart. That's Corey Tobin in now. In net for Abington. Tobin on a drop off. They go back across, look to attempt to get one past Mateo to Chico, the Firebird goalie. But instead, it'll be Sam Udell with the ball for Abington. Udell to the top, finds Lowry. Lowry moving the ball around the top of the key. Over to Matt Miller. 11:05 to play. Miller down low for Lowry again. Lowry to Suit. Suit to Udell. Udell across again. Matt Miller now on the spin. Miller across. Udell. Pushes it back out to the top to Spence Lowry. Lowry thought about a spin, but he's pressured out. Now fires over the middle again. It's Liam Frazier. Frazier on the return. Back to Lowry. 10:27 to play. Abington can kill as much clock as they so choose. Lowry running with the ball. Going over near the X behind the net. Gavin McDonough in defensive coverage for HGP, along with Anilov. A pass to the middle goes a little haywire. It's a loose ball. Can HGP capitalize on a loose ball? They will. The Firebirds pick it up going on the near side. It's Holt cutting through. Holt on a spin. Mike Holt making men miss. Now it passes down low. It's dropped. Recovered by Lippy. Lippy finds Chico. Chico comes way out of his own net, floating it downfield for Anilov. Anilov across half midfield. Anilov finds Razor on the other side. Josh Razor on the move. Boxed out. He gets knocked down. Anilov looking to scoop up the ball. He was going to swipe it out of bounds. That's a smart play by Jacob Anilov as the Firebirds will hold on to possession. Or I guess not again. It'll be Abington who takes over. It seemed like the Firebirds again won that race, but Abington is awarded the ball. And here's a strip. HGP picks up along the near side, almost loose ball on the sideline, and that's picked up by Mason Glenzer, who has been a huge force both physically and scoringly for Abington. Frazier slings it across. Sean Lair. Lair on the move. Lair cutting on in. He finds top of the net. Sean Lair, after a beautiful move by the Firebird defenders, puts Abington back up by 6. And they end this Firebirds 3-0 run with 8:33 to play in the fourth quarter. And they go up by 6 now, 11-5. After the opening face-off, it is Abington with the ball. Now a loose ball, and they finally pick it up and corral it. Liam Pendergast. Pendergast getting his name called for the first time today will now sub off. And a fire shot goes way wide and off the protective netting in the back. The shot came from the stick of Andrew Suit, who has a goal today. But Spence Lowry has been the team leader in goals. He has 3, giving him the hat trick. There's Andrew Lancaster at the top. Lancaster directing traffic. He goes to Frazier. Frazier moving men around. Frazier cutting in. Splits the defenders. It's a loose ball picked up at the X. And back out across to Udell. Udell finds Frazier again. Frazier up to the middle. He has Andrew Suit. Suit to Frazier. Now Abington forced to back off. Here's Suit again. Suit and Frazier. Frazier to Lancaster. Lancaster across to Spence Lowry. Lowry down low to Suit. Now it's Silverman who gets the ball right back. Silverman back to Frazier. Frazier to Silverman again on the return. And now it's slung out across to the side to Andrew Lancaster. 6:45 to play in regulation. It's 11-5 Ghosts. An Abington Ghosts lead. And now Chico makes the save. Chico floating it downfield for Jacob Analov. Analov on the move. Past the 3/4 mark. Analov fires a shot and it's saved by Corey Tobin. Now to Andrew Suit. Suit running away from everybody. And down low and they score. It's Matt Miller off the feed from Suit from the top of the key of the middle. And it's once again a 7-goal lead for Abington. And the bench excited for a full team. It's now 12-5 Abington leads over Holy Ghost Prep with 6:14 to play in regulation. So 6:13 to play. The faceoff gets trickled around and picked up by Abington. Abington leads by 7, just looking to hold on to this lead. The Fibers need to pull off some type of miracle to come back from being down this many, and the Fibers on a great offensive move. 2 of them to the middle of the shot, and he couldn't finish it off. It was Tommy Walsh who was spinning and taking blows and flying up across midfield, doing it himself, and he dished it out to Jacob Analov who couldn't finish it. And now a timeout will be called by Holy Ghost. 5:35 to play in regulation. It's Abington 12, HGP 5, coming from Fratnick Memorial Field. 5:32 and ticking to play in regulation. It's a 12-5 Abington lead over Holy Ghost Prep. Abington with Sean Lair goes back behind the net, behind the X. Lair has Silverman. Silverman tries to set a pick. Now he takes the pass. Silverman around the horn, fires a shot, and he scores. And Silverman with a multi-goal game. That's his second. And it's once again an 8-goal lead for Abington, tying their largest of the game. Before it was 10-2. Then the Firebirds went on a 3-goal run, and now Abington on a 3-goal run to make it 13-5 with 5:12 to play in regulation. Here's the opening face-off. It'll be won by Ben Iyer. Iyer up along the far side. 5 minutes to play, and he's stripped of the ball. Loose ball, and he's finally able to pick it up. Iyer to the middle, finds Sean Lair. Lair on the move again. One bounce pass across to Liam Frazier. Frazier on the drop to Udell. Udell back behind the net. Udell went down for a moment, lost the ball, and it's picked up. Here's Holt. Holt on a double cut, and he broke someone's ankles back behind the net, and that was Gavin Sweeney who went sliding to the turf for Abington. Now Abington on the move with their long poles subbing on. Here's Mason Glenzer. Glenzer lost it. Corey Tobin came out of his net just a little bit. Now here on the Firebirds again, it's Will McCann. And McCann couldn't get it near the net for Tobin. Tobin with a one bounce pass heave. It's knocked down at midfield, and it's offsides on HGP. It was Dill Bedford who just barely crept along the side, or just barely crept along the line. And calls from the HGP bench disagreeing with the offsides call, but it seemed pretty clear from here. 3:49 to play in regulation, 13-5. Abington on top. And then fires shot, he scores. And HGP right off the face-off found the top of the net. And from way out. It appears to be Jacob Anilov getting his second goal of the game for the Firebirds. And the lead now back down to 7, but it may be too little too late with 3:41 to play. And it's 13-6 Abington. Now, if the opening face-off, Abington wins it. And Gavin Sweeney picks it up. Sweeney drops it off to Pendergast. Pendergast across to Matt Miller. Miller dropping it down for Udell. Udell to the side, finds Lancaster. Lancaster on the pass back. Lancaster, the spin. Being pressured out. Over near the Abington bench. Lancaster fires up to Spence Lowry. Lowry dropping it back. Silverman. Zach Silverman to Udell. Udell now down low. Here comes Abington on the move. In the middle, charging in. And what a save by DeChico. Rejecting the diving Matt Miller, who's looked to make it a 14-6 lead. 2:32 to play. Here's Abington on the move. Liam Pendergast. Pendergast behind the back shot. I'm not sure where it ended up. A flag was thrown. There was a huge hit delivered by a Firebird over the middle. And it was on Zach Silverman, who tried to go for a behind-the-back look. Here's Silverman. Silverman drops down to Connor Pendergast. Pendergast back to Silverman. Silverman, pass was deflected. He picks it back up off the turf, and he's forced to back out. Pendergast to the middle. Pendergast winds and fires the one bouncer off the top of the stick of DeChico, and it goes out of bounds with the netting in the back. Udell on the move. Udell finds Miller. Miller on the cut. Winds up. Frazier is deflected out in front. And now Udell picks it up. Udell to Silverman. Silverman in the middle fires a shot, and it was deflected again before it made it to the stick of DeChico, and it went wide of the net. Another pass to the middle, Zach Silverman. Silverman wind-up shots, deflected and saved by DeChico. DeChico with a long floater. It's caught over the midfield by Tommy Walsh. Walsh through the halfway through the offensive zone. Walsh down low finds Razzler. Razzler to the side by the Firebird bench. Here's McDonough. And Anilov. Anilov making a move in. The Firebirds with the ball back around the X. He makes a move in. He backs it out. Throws to McCann. McCann to Tommy Walsh. Walsh and the ball will go back behind the net. And out of bounds, the Firebirds regain possession with 36.7 to play. So 13-6 Abington. They'll win this game, but can the Firebirds get one last strike? Razzler spinning and slipping. A flag goes in the air as Razzler may have got hit in his head with a stick. It may appear to be accidental contact, but hit nonetheless. McDonough around the top. McDonough to Anilov. Anilov gets up with 13 seconds. A wind-up shot that was deflected down. Jude Walsh was the one that attempted it. Here's McCann. McCann with 4 seconds. 3. And it's whistled, and time will stop at 2.5 seconds to play. As Luke Myslinski, who for Abington got on for a moment, he'll sub off. Number 55. .5 to play in regulation. 13-6. Abington leads. It'll be a quick inbound for Abington. Or no, Firebirds will have it right now, and that'll be it. The final 2.5 seconds run off the clock as Anilov couldn't get near the net. So Abington dominates in the first half. The Firebirds came back a little bit in the second half, but it was to no avail as Abington dominates HGP from end to end. 13-6 your final score from Frannick Memorial Field. So that'll do it from us here from HGPTV and from Frannick Memorial Field. Again, your final score, the Abington Galloping Ghosts 13, the Holy Ghost Prep.
Holy Ghost Prep ties it up. Holy Ghost is on the move.
Yeah, Firebirds had a lot of momentum.
Right from the jump for the Firebirds, who look really good.